success happens when you realize you're not the smartest person in the room.
The associate's going to have a 51% stake in the practice. What does that look like?
There's such a chasm within our industry between kind of, clinicians and business people. It's invisible, but it's felt every day. It's unheard of, Dan, in the industry to give majority share and profits instead of just them being, a highly paid, replaceable producer. We're endeavoring to disrupt that.
Welcome back to The Doers, the podcast where we dive into the real stories of building, struggling, and thriving in dentistry. I'm your host, Dan Hall. In each episode, we explore the victories, the challenges, and the lessons learned by the leaders in the trenches doing the work and shaping the future of our dentistry. Today, I'm joined by Vicki Yu, the CEO of Elite Dental Partners, one of the fastest growing dental support organizations in the country, focused on operational excellence, clinician empowerment, and sustainable growth. Vicki sits at the intersection of leadership, scale, and culture, balancing EBITDA, discipline with people-first decision-making in a market that's more competitive and complex than ever. She's not just acquiring practices, she's building infrastructure, developing leaders, and redefining what responsible growth looks like in the DSO environment. Vicki, welcome to The Doers.
Thanks, Dan. It's a mouthful.
It is, but you're out there doing good stuff. So I know you have a super busy schedule. Thank you for carving out some time for me, having a chat on the stuff you're working on, right? I think you're truly going to redefine the way DSOs run. But before we dive into Elite and all that, I want to know a little bit more about you. So every doer has a moment when they move from managing to truly leading. What was the moment for you?
Every day is a work in progress, and we're on our leadership journey. But really, I think the change happened when I realized that it's really not on one person, and success happens when you realize you're not the smartest person in the room. And, I'm blessed to be surrounded by super intelligent, hardworking, diligent individuals who lead alongside me and inspire me on the daily. So to have that surround me, to be able to cultivate the talent, to be able to grow people is when I realized that leadership has changed and really shifted.
That's awesome. So it's your people, right?
That's right.
Staying focused on them. Is there any type of philosophy that shaped your leadership over the years? Because I know you've held multiple roles at different organizations.
Yeah, I've been through a lot of different roles within the dental industry, having owned my own practices, having been associates at large DSOs, at private practices, having been able to lead a startup sort of dental healthcare business within a large Fortune 1 company, and now at Elite. I think talent is really just about working super hard, being focused on that which you're aiming for, and finding something that is outside of yourself, really finding that service lens to why we do things.
Okay. So that's great. So just like a customer first, just being super centric around those patients / customers, and just letting that be the North Star, so to say, in the practices that you've worked at?
Absolutely. I think, as a leader in a DSO, who we serve are the doctors and our people in the field, so that they could ultimately focus on the patients and the care that only them can provide our patients. So I think it's super important for us to define that, for us to appreciate, that the fact that we have roles in large support organizations to support our field.
You're almost floating into my next question, which is awesome. You're like steps ahead of me here. But, when some people hear DSO, certain assumptions arise, right, in the space, maybe from individual practice owners or the person that is an associate or maybe owns a couple of practices. What makes Elite different in the way that you're leading that organization that you could maybe squash some of those assumptions that are out there?
Yeah, what a great question. I think, in the DSO world, there's a lot of assumptions that are correct and some that we're trying to differentiate from and pull ourselves and set ourselves apart from. We're backed by super innovative Golub Capital, and our sponsor, my boss, Andy Stewerman, is super innovative in the space, and he understands the business of dentistry is really about people. So I'm excited to share a little bit about that which we're doing differently from other DSOs. So whenever you're ready for me to share that, we'll love to.
No, that's good to know. I would love to hear what you're working on, and it's awesome that you essentially have this coming from the top, like the very top now.
Very top. Yeah.
That's amazing. So, yeah, let's explore that. What is this project you're working on with your equity partner that's going to really separate Elite?
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm making an assumption right now.
Yes, Dan. The brainchild of Andy's, we are calling it Elite Vantage, is where we actually are not giving golden handcuffs to our doctors, and we're sharing the profits of the practices that they build. There's such a chasm within our industry between kind of clinicians and business people, and it's invisible, but it's felt every day, right? Because the clinicians are there having their careers, pouring their hearts out every day and servicing the community, building the practice, yet they don't really get a majority share. So the fact that people are out there super excited about taking on more loans to buy into Topco or one of their practices so that they could be minority share, we don't accept that. We don't think that that's fair for our clinicians, and we're a clinician-centric organization, and we're endeavoring to disrupt that.
Really cool concept. So just to make sure I understand this right.
Yeah.
The associate's going to have a 51% stake in the practice or dividends. What does that look like?
Yeah.
Did I catch that right?
You did.
Okay.
It's unheard of, Dan, in the industry. But to give majority share and profits to the person, right, the clinician that's pouring their life into building of this office and leading through not just production centric kind of metrics, but really building the office, right, the community around that which they serve, is how we're doing this. And we're putting our money where our mouth is.
Well, I guess for if there's an associate listening, this would be something that would come to mind for me.
Yeah.
How would you know if they're ready, right, for this journey to be able to enjoy that generous offering of 51%? But there's got to be some gates in place.
Yeah.
So what would that look like if I'm that associate listening?
Yeah.
And want to reach out to you. Yeah.
I hope lots of doctors who are out there practicing want to hear more about this, but this isn't for everyone. It's very innovative in that we want the most engaged clinicians, people who want to grow within their career, who want to serve patients long term, aren't just after the quick win, but really in building relationships and caring for someone's overall health, who want to stay put in within that practice and lead that practice to a higher level of productivity and service. So those who really are looking to level up without having to take on more loans, without having to take on more risk, this is a place for them.
Okay, very cool. So is this both a recruiting and a retention tool, or one or the other in the eyes of Elite?
Yeah, got you. Both. And we have some of the most amazing clinicians and clinician leaders within our entity, and I've been blessed to have seen quite a few leaders in dental industry. We want to keep the best, and we want to attract the best to us. And we're open to, we have an aggressive growth plan to really support talent that are coming on board. So looking forward to all the possibilities.
Okay, so I have a question then. As the industry is facing margin compression, right? How are you all balancing this, right? Because reimbursements aren't going up. There's pressure on that. I think you gave some little bit of glimpse in there as far as growth plans to support this. But what operational lever are you pulling to make sure you can pull this off, as well as just not even this, new venture to attract doctors and compensate them for all the hard work and effort and to be there for the long term, but just in general on the day-to-day, which operational lever are you relying on most to offset that margin compression?
We have operational excellence in place. We train the heck out of the most talented people. We have teams ready to support from all respects, really removing the friction of everyday practice for the clinicians. We look at all sorts of KPIs to inform, how we guide, how we support, and we're 77 offices strong, and we're in the sweet spot where we're able to pivot as needed to support every office according to what they need.
So what's one of those operational excellence training platforms that has been most impactful, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, of course. We actually really heavily invest in our learning and development platform. Our learning team has curated growth paths for doctors. So if we have new doctors coming on who are fresh grads, the first question we ask them is, what do you desire within your career in the next 3 years, in the next 5, in the next 10? How can we support you to get you what you desire to do? And we have a lot of vendor partners that support us in that journey. We endeavor to really guide each doctor so that they can be maximized.
No, that's amazing. You see a lack of that in some organizations where they want to plug somebody in and just have them go work as if they know how the whole thing should function and the philosophy behind it.
Right.
That's amazing that you guys are making that investment in your individuals. I'm a big believer in that as well, too. They'll do well here, right? And then ideally it's just your job to keep them there and continue to grow with you and run that platform within your organization. So it's good for you for running that. That's awesome.
Thanks, Dan. We're very people-centric, and we have leaders who are servant leaders who desire to help people grow. So important, and I don't think I would be here without all the mentors and people who've helped me along the way. So paying it back,
paying it forward, absolutely.
Yeah.
I heard that too. That's one of the most rewarding things. I had somebody reach out to me from years back in an entry-level role and saying, "Hey, you put me through this platform. Is there something you would recommend as I go into my leadership role?" Which is rewarding.
Amazing.
Yeah. Well, let's take a shift because we've been talking a lot about people. So I'm curious, you got to have technology rolled into this as well too. I mean, there's so much out there in the world of tech to build your stack to augment the process and make your teams more efficient. I feel it's no longer optional. It's almost a part of the margin strategy overall. When I look at a lot of the groups that I see out there and talk to, how do you and the elite team evaluate new tech when you're looking to roll something out across the organization?
Gotcha. We are very thoughtful in our process. We really look at what technology is going to enable our teams in the field to operate most efficiently, remove any barriers they've experienced, increase their efficiency, increase their ability to grow within their careers. We do heavy kind of discovery periods and proof of concepts, and let our people tell us how that tech works within the ecosystem before we unlock anything, because we don't believe that decisions are made best from the top down. We do believe that we should be informed by how our people desire to be led, and we take cues from them.
That's amazing. So it routes back to your people. So this is going to be a bottom-up decision.
Yeah.
Like they're going to have to tell you, is this process and augmenting in a good way? So I'm curious, how do you offset those? Because you said you do proof of concepts. How would you offset that person who just doesn't like change, right? Because anytime you throw something out there, it's change. People really don't like change. What type of guardrails do you have in place to ensure that doesn't happen?
Yeah. We really focus on communications here. And unreasonable hospitality is something that we really frame our change management programs through. Understanding, respecting people's desire to do the best they can do with their everyday life, and how they contribute to the everyday flow of patient care. But understanding that, it takes time for people to digest. So communicating, guiding them through, telling them the why behind why we're doing this and how it could improve their operational efficiency, that it could improve their everyday life. And then, asking them to try it, please. Right. And then accepting that, it doesn't always work for everyone, and that it may take multiple times for something to work for them, is something certainly we do often. And we're very patient with our people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is this driving through your training platform?
Yeah.
Okay. I have to meet this individual. They got to be a remarkable person, like it sounds like, or a team that is running this training platform that you're investing in, not to just develop your people, but also to drive your change, which
Yes.
Very smart move.
Thank you.
So this way it gives them an avenue to maybe touch it, learn it, see how it's folded into the whole process.
Yeah.
at Elite.
Yeah. To have them guide. Yeah. You must meet them. So many talented individuals at Elite. Yeah.
So let's shift. I mean, scaling sounds fun. I mean, you said you're at 77, 79 locations.
Yes.
From the outside, it looks like a good time.
Yes.
But it's got to be heavy. So what's been the hardest season for you at Elite?
Interesting. Every season has highs and lows. The hardest season the hardest things for us is, talent changes. I think, sometimes the talent that gets you there isn't necessarily the team that advances and progresses.
Okay.
So to be able to guide through that, but I really rely upon my team to tell me, who kind of fits the culture. And we have a very flat kind of organization for that purpose, because all of my leaders are culture champions of ours. So, if someone doesn't fit, that's tough for us. That's tough, right? Because we really pour into our people. And.
Well, can I ask you on that one? I'm curious, is when you say they don't fit, how quickly do you find this out? I mean, is your culture that tight?
Yeah.
Dan were to come there, you'd be like, wow, it's been 2 weeks and this guy's not plugging in. How do you handle that?
How do we handle that? Well, we try to train the heck out of them. We try to surround them with the best culture champions, so as to see if we can engage more, and if we can pour in more, and if we can help them see how the process goes. And then, we are pretty quick at making, needed changes, because we really believe in preserving the pure culture that we have. And having someone who doesn't fit really taints that. And, we don't have time for that. So
if they're not coachable, you just have to make that hard decision.
Yeah.
And maybe this isn't the team for you.
Sure.
Okay. No, that's fair. I mean, that's good. It's great to see that you have that structure and the systems in place to sniff that out early. I talked to so many folks where that may not happen.
Yeah. We're not rash, but we are, we know who we are to the core as a team.
Okay. So let's jump into a rapid fire. So this is going to be a little bit more about maybe a blended portion of you and at work. What's your favorite metric to review? I don't know if it's daily, weekly, to have a finger on the pulse of the business.
Oh, good question. I like same store. I like conversion data. I like average visit revenue. I like a lot of data. I like math.
Okay, you like math.
I like math, Dan. Yeah.
So, what does same store mean? If I'm an associate or I'm an individual doctor, I might not know what that is. I mean, I think I know what it is. Yeah. But if I'm listening, what would same store mean?
How much the practice has grown, how much more productivity. We really measure productivity by care that we get to provide to our patients. So how much elevation are we doing? Having our doctors not just treat disease, but converting that to a comprehensive care model where we're actually preserving health and getting to overall health outcomes. That's the number that's condensed down that we really truly care about.
Okay, fascinating. So what's a book, a mentor that's influenced your approach so far in this journey?
Well, really, really adore my board chair, Andy Stewerman, and him and I really believe in unreasonable hospitality. So we've been talking about that throughout last year together, and the team really has a grasp of that, and we're training heavily on that. But last year, our book was what was our book, Nicole? Extreme Ownership.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say our book, is this a book you're reading with your leadership team, or do you have a book club internally here at Elite?
We sure do. We
Really?
sure do. Yeah. we identify, we got the book for everyone as welcome gifts, and, we've assigned chapters, and we ask people to share about their experience and how it relates to their life. And it's quite cute. We do it monthly.
I love it. I do it with my team.
Do you?
Yes.
Wonderful. What
It's
book
fun.
are you guys reading?
Oh, we've read Never Split the Difference, and
Yes.
a handful of others in that mix as well too.
Yeah.
It's tough sometimes to maybe push them a little outside.
Yeah.
That comfort zone of something that might be just very targeted towards the business,
Yeah.
but could philosophically help them in the business, right? Like
Yeah.
Talking to Strangers by Malcolm Gladwell be a great
Yes.
one. I'd love to pull the team in to read. I think it's a good book.
Nice.
Um,
Very good.
Well, thanks for sharing that. That's really cool that you do that, and then
Of course,
go and
you
see how
too.
they're applying it in personal life.
Yes.
And I feel like that's more impactful sometimes than saying how are you doing that at work.
Right. Right.
What's one misconception about DSOs in your mind when people hear, "Oh, you run a DSO"?
Yeah. Ooh, I know. I get that face a lot. They think it's all about revenue and cash and money, and it's very ruthless. At Elite Dental Partners, we're very people-centric. In fact, the Elite Vantage comes from that, in that we really are clinician first. We want to disrupt the industry and share in the profits of our doctors instead of just them being, a highly paid, replaceable producer.
Okay. So in 5 years, where do you see Elite?
We dream often, and we have blue ocean discussions, but truly believe that in 5 years, Elite will be the gold standard for clinician choice, where they come here, they don't have to take on more loans, they don't have to take on more risk. They come here, we surround them with so much education, support, operational efficiency, that they grow their careers and they become partners of ours, and they stay.
Okay. Very cool. I'm looking forward to watching it. So
Thanks, Dan.
do you have any advice if there's associates listening or people that maybe they're already running a practice and thinking about a second and they want to grow their leadership role? What skills do you feel they need to master to be able to do that, to jump to that next level?
Got you. It's a good question. I think communications is super important. Learning to concisely communicate your ideas, getting your team to rally around it, understanding what your true North Star is, and for us at Elite, it's really supporting clinicians and giving them a different option, because what we've seen in DSOs out there is really kind of just paying lip service, right? And the clinicians aren't front and center. And I think being able to read, being able to understand financial balance sheets is important for dentists. None of us are trained on that in dental school. But if you're going to go into business, at least understand, a balance sheet, a P&L, so you can read and be an understanding of what all the levers are that you can pull. Those are
Okay,
important
so
points.
you got to have a little bit of knowledge in that space to be able to jump back and see which lever you got to pull within the business.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. And
You don't
here at
have to
Elite,
calculate EBITDA. Please
They
tell me. Okay.
you don't have to know what EBITDA is.
Okay.
But if you want to, we're happy to teach you.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
this has been a really good discussion. I appreciate you sharing all this. I mean, it's been really powerful, Vicki. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dan.
Scale without alignment, tends to fracture. And I feel like you're doing a good thing over there. You're aligned. And if you do it with incentives and being people-centric, it compounds. And when high-performing associates become true stakeholders, organizations move from transactional to generational growth. I feel like that's kind of what you're out there trying to do. And hopefully as you go over these 5 years, we see that. To those, everyone listening, if you're building, you're leading, you're betting on people, stay disciplined, stay focused, stay in the arena, and keep doing the work. Vicki, if anybody wants to reach out to you, and I don't know if you're open to them just having a conversation, what's the best way to contact you?
Yeah. We're gonna give you a QR code that you can put in the description. Certainly happy to have discussions with any doctors out there or people who are interested, leaders of industry. We're always looking for the best talent. Give you my cell phone number. You have my cell phone number.
Well, I'll tell you, everybody, she's very operationally sound. The very first person to come to me with the QR code. There's got to be a process in place. Well, until next time, just keep following us and keep doing the work out there.